Let's talk about what it's really like to live in Palm Desert because yes, it's stunning, but like anywhere, it comes with a few natural quirks. I get questions all the time about flooding, fire, earthquakes, and air quality, oh my, and I'm here to break it all down. Most of the risks people worry about are either rare or fully manageable, and I'll show you exactly how the desert is designed to handle them. Now, first up is flood risks. Now, flooding might not be the first thing you think of when you hear desert, but it can actually happen here. During heavy rainstorms, especially in the summer monsoon season, the dry desert ground can't absorb water quickly enough. This leads to flash flooding. But here's the good news. The Palm Desert area is built with flooding in mind. You'll notice storm drains all over the city and these big open channels called desert washes. These aren't just for looks, they're designed to handle floodwater and keep it away from homes and businesses. Plus, most neighborhoods are developed with drainage systems that guide water where it needs to go, not into your living room. If you're buying a home here, it's always a good idea to check the FEMA flood map to see if the property is in a flood zone. And yes, flood insurance is something to consider, but it's not mandatory for every area. However, if you are purchasing in a flood zone and getting a loan, flood insurance will be required, but it's not too expensive. Personally, if I was looking at a property and it checked all the boxes, but it was in a flood zone, I wouldn't worry too much about it because it's very rare we get major flooding here. Last time we had flooding was during Hurricane Hillary, I believe, and that was a 50-year hurricane. So it's not something we see every single year, could be something we see every 50 years. So it just comes down to what you're comfortable with. Let's talk about fire hazards. When you think of California wildfires, you might picture massive flames tearing through forests. But in Palm Desert, it's a completely different story. We don't have those big trees or dense, dry forests like Los Angeles or other parts of the state. What we do have is a lot of dirt, bare rock, and sparse vegetation. Fires can happen here, but they don't spread the same way they do in heavily wooded areas. That said, brush fires can still occur, especially near the edges of the desert where there's more natural vegetation. But local fire departments like CAL FIRE and the Riverside County Fire Department are extremely prepared. They've got strategies in place to quickly contain fires before they become a big problem. As a homeowner, you can help by creating a defensible space around your property, basically clearing away any dry brush or debris that could act as fuel for a fire. That note is mostly going to be towards people who are in rural areas who have a lot of property, like maybe an acre of land. Now, before we move on, I just want to remind everyone, my name is Brandy. I'm a local real estate agent in the Palm Desert, Palm Springs area. I service the entire Coachella Valley, and I absolutely love doing what I do. I help people from all over the world that call me from my channel to look for properties in the desert. And if you're looking for properties in the desert, you're gonna find that our desert is a lot bigger than you probably think, and you're gonna be lost, especially if you're searching for homes. Say you're back east and you're looking at homes, you're not gonna know what to do. So you have to reach out to someone like me. I'm born and raised here, and I absolutely love helping people. So here's my contact information if you're looking to relocate, buy a vacation home, investment property. I do all the things. So be sure to get in touch with me, email, text, days, nights, weekends, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Now on to everyone's most talked subject other than fires, earthquakes. Yes, Palm Desert is near the San Andreas Fault, so earthquakes are a part of life here, but let me be real with you, they're not as big of a deal as you might think. Most of the time they're small enough that you barely notice them. You're either running, walking, driving, sleeping, and even when a bigger one happens, it doesn't typically disrupt daily life. Even for me, who has lived through multiple, there was one time where I was working at a desk. I was helping someone open a brand new account at the bank that I used to work at, and we had a pretty big earthquake, and my client across from me was pretty scared, but I had to contain myself, not run out of the building. So yes, when it happens, it does jolt you because it's unexpected. No one knows when an earthquake is going to happen. So it does get a little scary in the moment, but for the most part, I don't live my life in fear, worried about the next big earthquake or just worried when we're gonna feel one or anything like that. Personally, I just feel that we should probably all be prepared by maybe having tennis shoes by our front door, or maybe having leashes that are really close by if you need to grab your dog and maybe run outside. But it's all about being prepared. But again, I just don't live my life in fear. Also, while I was working, our buildings are constructed to meet seismic standards. So they're designed to handle some shaking. And so the building was shaking around me. I had the light that was moving above me, but overall, I didn't feel the need to hide under my desk by any means. So again, our buildings are built to handle some shaking. One thing homeowners can do is retrofitting. Retrofitting means reinforcing a building structure to make it more resistant to earthquake damage. This can include things like securing the foundation, adding bracing to walls, or bolting heavy appliances and fixtures in place. It's a way to bring older homes up to modern safety standards and give you extra peace of mind during an earthquake. But I can tell you hardly anyone bolts anything to the ground here. But if you're the proactive type who wants peace of mind, it's an option. The only thing that's really strapped down in our area would be your water heater. Now, about earthquake insurance, most people in the desert elect not to get it. Why? Because it's expensive and the likelihood of a major earthquake causing significant damage is relatively low. Of course, that's a personal decision, and like I've said, if it gives you peace of mind, it's worth considering. Finally, let's talk about air quality. According to firststreet.org, Palm Desert has better air quality than 94% of cities in California. Mostly the air is clean here and fresh, especially compared to the smoggy cities on the coast. But we do have the windiest and dustiest seasons. Typically, this happens in the spring and fall when the winds pick up. If you're near open desert areas, you might experience some dust storms or see more particles in the air. The key is preparation. Many people install high-quality air filters in their homes, and landscaping with plants or gravel can help reduce dust around your property. And if you have respiratory issues, it's always a good idea to check air quality reports. Sites like Air Now and the South Coast Air Quality Management District make it easy to stay informed. Another great option are air purifiers. I personally use one and I love it. I've talked about the air purifiers that I recommend in an Amazon video that I made recently. So there you have it, the truth about flood risks, fire hazards, earthquakes, and air quality in Palm Desert. Yes, there are things to be aware of, but they're not deal breakers. In fact, the desert has adapted beautifully to handle these challenges, and for most people, they don't interfere with the amazing quality of life here. And lastly, if you or anyone you know is looking to move to the desert, feel free to give me a call, email, text, days, nights, weekends, and we can get started on your search. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on my next one.